Hello there, I'm Anthony and it is next part of exploration through some great releases of November. And for today I prepared something which is kind of special to me, I would say. As there are not many bands which would be so interested in Japanese folklore, I can obviously immediately think about Side, but it is native Japanese band. But I can safely assume that everybody knows them. And the second one, which is definitely less known, On Terre Revivant. In French it means buried alive, and it is half Japanese, half French band that plays raw folk black metal, I would say, or at least with worse production than Psy, for example. But their album from 2021 with that cat playing a shamisen is great. There are lots of atmosphere building spoken parts in Japanese, and massive blasts with flutes and badly produced guitars. In this case the bad production actually adds more power to the sound overall. But today's guest is a little different, as this band was designed to tell us about different folklores. And obviously I mean international project Ershetu. Their previous album Xibalba was telling us about Mayan culture, and by the way it was one of my favorite albums from the previous year. It is a great piece of progressive black metal with some cinematic and orchestral vibes, which turned out to be very enjoyable to listen. However, on their latest album Yomi, the things have changed a little. First of all, new album and different folklore, this time Japanese, but I guess it was obvious. The second one, this album is much more blacky than Xibalba. The album has lots of spaces that were filled with progressive black metal jamming instead of the cinematic stuff, and this time I can't say I like this idea. Generally, I often listen to pure Japanese folk and I simply love it. And I wanted to hear on this album more folk parts, especially which would be sometimes separated from metal like on Xibalba. But there occurs obviously usage of koto and characteristic Japanese flute. They could have developed it just a little more. And at this point let's move to the music. I guess you will understand what I mean pretty quickly. As I said before, there are indeed pure folk parts. But for the rest it would be all actually. But black metal on this album is played in a great way. And it also sounds great when they mix it with Japanese folk, like here. Every track on this album actually consists of a slower intro, and some of them don't even have those folk parts. I mean, this album doesn't have very complicated sound, but the next track combines great riffs with Japanese instruments in a catchy and attractive way. Fortunately, the next track tries to put more pressure on Japanese instruments. Only at one moment, but it's still something. The next track is rather a classic one. But the next track adds more grooviness to the stuff. So, such a nice refreshment. Hopefully on the last track we have lots of Japanese instruments. And also more second wave black metal riffs at some point. And at the end probably my favorite part. And for today it would be all actually. I know there wasn't so much to talk about due to such a construction of the album, but technically it is a great thing. I would just develop more Japanese instruments here. For example, more aggressive solos on koto without normal guitars. and more avant-garde mindset for next releases. But anyway, thank you all for watching this video. Like and sub if you enjoy my content here, and see ya soon, I hope.